on the 25th of January in 2019, we're going to invite Sydney-siders and people visiting Sydney to come down to Barangaroo and sit vigil from dusk of the 25th through till dawn of the 26th. And if you like, to just take time to reflect and remember through compassion, through empathy, to get a sense of what it would have been like for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, but Aboriginal people in this country, what it would have been like the day before it all changed, the day before the arrival of the First Fleet, remembering that the 26th of January is that anniversary. So for us, it's really a moment of a quiet reflection, a moment of listening. So the vigil is an opportunity to engage in the real feeling, the true feeling of being connected to this landscape, and not just remembering one part of the story. In fact, Noel Pearson talks about the three stories that make Australia. He says there's the longest continuous culture on earth, there's the British colonial project and the institutions we've inherited, and also the most successful multi-ethnic, multicultural nation on the planet. And that what we need to do is not just think of the one story, in this case the British arrival, but to remember the Indigenous experience here and also the arrival of others. In many ways, Australia Day is most ritualised, most ceremonial for those who are becoming Australians on that day. And I think a lot of us who were born here are quite conflicted about what it means to be Australian and why do we look at the 26th of January as the day, and it's such a young thing. We only legislated for Australia Day to happen on the 26th of January in 1994. What we need to do as Australians, like we do with Anzac Day, where there's a really beautiful dawn service, there's music, there's poetry, there's recitation of story, there's speeches made, and then there's a march of remembrance, followed by two up and down the pub with your mates having a drink. We can have a party and a solemn remembrance in the same day, and they're not seen as antithetical. The vigil is an opportunity to start a ceremonial reflection before any other kind of celebrations to commemorate what the Indigenous experience was in this country before white people arrived here. For those who are coming to the vigil, there'll be several fires and they'll be lit. Not ceremonial fires, just campfires basically. And you'll see a big sign. We're putting up what we're calling the Always sculpture. It's 5 meters high by 28 meters wide, and it says the word always. On one side is Corten steel, like that rusted steel, and on the back side of it, the reverse side, it's all mirrored so that you are reflected into the past of always. And you come in and you'll be sitting around a fire, and there'll be some activities, some weaving, some storytelling, some discussion points, but very calm, very relaxed. And this moment of just coming down to the fire, looking at the fire reflected in the mirror, and as the sun goes down, just to be there with others. Have conversations about what it means to have a remembrance. We'll also be bringing in a choir. We've been having this choir together singing a song in local Sydney languages, so they'll be singing. There'll also be conversation starters. There'll be we'll ask people to sit and to read the Uluru Statement from the Heart, to go, what does that mean for you? Have a little read of it, a quiet reflection. It's not a protest. It's not a big kind of concert. It's not a survival concert like the wonderful ones at Yarbin. It's a moment of reflection and sitting down and thinking. And to do that as a group, you can do it by yourself, but to sit on the landscape, look at the harbour, watching the harbour bridge, watching the ships go by, and thinking about this landscape before white people were here and what your connection is to that history.